I'm Angus Irwin. I'm the CEO and founder of Neutrog fertilisers. Look, I have an absolute affinity to farmers and growers because I come from that background. I know how tough it is for them, and those farmers and growers rely upon the performance of our products to earn their livings, and I take that really seriously. I don't think making fertiliser describes what we do, because it doesn't do it justice. It's way more than that.
Neutrog has just exploded right across the gardening world, and in fact the agricultural world as well. When you go into Bunnings, your local garden centre, your local nursery, you'll see Neutrog branded products everywhere. What is it that's behind this company that's hooked a gardener who's been gardening since he was 4, working in the industry since he was 11, and that wasn't yesterday? Neutrog is a very different sort of company.
Neutrog has evolved from a company that initially made a fertiliser based on composted chicken litter to now being a company which is really looking at how can we improve the soil from a biological perspective and how do we use that to benefit plant health.
That's where Neutrog differ. They look at what's happening in the soil to make your plants grow better.
Neutrog is a biological fertiliser company, and a lot of people sort of say, well, what's a biological fertiliser? What does that actually mean? Well, what it means is that our fertilisers are alive. They contain microbes, they contain bacteria, fungi, all the things that a soil would normally have. So the question might be, bacteria and fungi, who cares? Well, everyone should care, because the thing is, those little tiny bacteria, which you can fit, 1 billion onto a head of a pin, and those fungi that send out those fungal networks through the soil, they're absolutely vital for plants. A biological fertiliser is actually the way that nature intended nutrients to become available. It's almost like making a medicine for a plant.
Dr. Yuri Strower came up with a product called Populator. A lot of people come to me with their problems, and one particular guy has a plantation, and he had Phytophthora, which is an endemic root disease in his plantation of tea trees. He used Populate as a bit of a trial, and it stopped Phytophthora in its tracks. That's never happened before in Australia's history. Neutrog have done that. The product is so good, it actually pushes back root diseases in the soil.
We've been very fortunate with the development of populators that we've been able to do it in conjunction with elders. And the results we've seen to date in pathogen suppression all the way through to harvesting early has made it irrefutable that biologicals are the future. We're producing a result literally in days, which is just unheard of with any fertilising product, let alone a biological product. I think we all just feel within Neutrog that they do need to see that the amount of efforts that we do put in, enormous amount of love and care into making the fertilisers work. Hence why we do spend so much money on research and development, because we're wanting to continue to be innovative in this marketplace and bring new products and make new discoveries. We'd be the only fertiliser company I know in the Southern Hemisphere that has a PhD microbiologist working for us, and hence that's allowed us to evolve much faster in our thinking and understanding of biology.
They do their research long before, years and years before, you actually walk into a garden centre and buy the product. They want to make sure that theirs is not only #1, but it's better by a country mile.
We need to take a lead in biological fertilisers in the country, and we're looking to expand our existing laboratory into a far more substantial research and development centre.
You'll find a lot of products on the market that are based on, say, 1 or 2 microbes. In Australia, Neutrog is probably the only company to look at diversity, how many microbes can we get in.
Instead of expecting one bug to survive in every single differing soil pH, we're getting bugs from all around the country. We're screening those soils and pulling out bacteria and fungi that do all these differing functions.
And the reason we look at diversity is pretty simple. A diverse ecosystem is a stable ecosystem. So if you have a monoculture, which is an ecosystem with a limited diversity, it's very easy to disrupt. So what we do at Neutrog is we're continually looking for new microbes that do things for plants. You can never have high enough diversity, in my opinion. If I were to take a polar bear and drop him into the Australian desert, he might be a great hunter in the Arctic, but he won't do well. However, if I drop 50 different species into the desert, one of those might do well. And so that's the ethos. Diversity, diversity, diversity.
In understanding our market, we actually came up with the byline of the expert's choice. Our business has been built on building and developing relationships with garden clubs and serious gardeners so that they can use that hierarchical system in order to educate the more casual gardening public. The power of communities in talking about and partnering with us with products. Set about an entire process for Neutrog. It's never going to change because one, it's successful, but two, it feels good, three, it's very real, it's very raw, and we're out there. Particularly those clubs we're very close to, play a really big role in our research and development.
Neutrog is an Australian company, but the idea is to become global. We're actually taking some of our most beneficial set of bacteria and fungi, and we're actually getting the entire genome sequenced, and that then allows us to very precisely say what that organism is. So again, that's really innovative. I mean, I don't think there'd be any other company in Australia that is really using that sort of DNA sequencing technology to work out exactly what's in their product.
Where we are right at the moment is that we've discovered about 500 plus bacteria and fungi. We have an opportunity to patent the functionality of those bacteria. Whether we're able to export those bacteria into other countries will then set the scene of what we need to do on an international basis. It may be we need to set up laboratories in each of the countries we wish to go into so that we can then look for similar performing bacteria and fungi that are native to that country. Food security actually brings into play another one of the things we do. When you apply fertilisers to your land, you need to make sure that you're not applying with them pathogenic bacteria. So Neutrog goes through an enormous amount of time and effort in testing its materials in respect of particularly ready-to-eat salads. We're in the process of developing a fixed, fully enclosed system that allows us to apply our products to commercial ready-to-eat salad growing.
Neutrog isn't a one-string instrument. There's lots of strings to our bow.
We've actually just installed a coating plant, and that coating plant is a very high-tech machine. We're getting to that point whereby farmers will be able to ring us up and say, I want the phosphorus-liberating bugs, and we'll be able to push a button and spray it onto the pellets. And that really puts us into probably the most advanced organic biological fertiliser companies in the world.
One of the things that Neutrog don't do is we don't sit on our laurels. We're always pushing the frontiers. What's the next product?
On my radar many years ago was coffee waste. In Australia there's in excess of 150,000 tonnes a year of coffee waste. Most of it goes to landfill. And so we started a project with Food Bank with the name of Human Beans. Food Bank's able to collect it, the product comes up to us, and we then turn that into a fertiliser which is going to be used for food and vegetable production, and then from part of those proceeds will go back to Food Bank, which then put food on the table to the needy. And that's a terrific project that we're very excited about.
See this story with Neutrog, it just goes on and on. I say, they shot for the moon, they've landed there. I think they're taking over Mars now, but let's see where it goes.
Where we've got to with our biological journey is really just at the beginning, and we are just literally at the beginning.